Hi everyone, it is Flower Friday. I'm Sherry with Grace Monroe Home, and I am one half of the mother-daughter design duo where we teach you how to transform the ordinary front door into the extraordinary front door. And today we're going to be making something just a little different. So let me show you what we're going to work with. We have this neat looking gold wreath that's just a wire frame, and I got this from Michael's, and I have actually added styrofoam. It came without anything on it, so I have added styrofoam by just zip tying 2 pieces of styrofoam right to this part, the mesh looking part of the ring. And it's very easy, very quick to do. So that is how I've got this on here, so that we can add flowers to this wreath. So it's not going to be your traditional grapevine wreath, but it is still going to be something interesting. And this would be an ideal form to use if you needed to make something to go between a door and a storm door or something like that, because now this one's probably going to be too wide because I do have the loops of my bow, you know, a little larger, but you could make them shorter, make your loops like maybe even 3 or 4 inch loops. You could still make a really substantial bow, and it would be flat enough to use in between the door and the storm door. But I wanted to show you, I've got this pretty welcome sign. And look, when y'all come in to watch, just say hello and let me know where you're watching from. And if you would share this with your friends, that would help us out so much. Anyway, I have this welcome sign that is so cute, and I got this from Hobby Lobby. And what I have done, I just drilled my little holes in both sides here, and I've just used foil wire to wire it right directly to this wire frame. So now we're going to be adding some pretty things and make it into a wreath. Now with this, you could, you know, of course, leave off the welcome sign. You could do all greenery if you wanted just something that was green. You could even add some, you know, down here, just a real pretty greenery all down through here, and then maybe add a vine of it coming up in here if you wanted to do that. I want to do something just a little different, so we're going to use some really pretty flowers, some boxwood that we're going to use, some pretty white Gerber daisies that we're going to use to match the daisies in our sign and our pretty daisy ribbon. So isn't that pretty? And so we have got other little flowers. We've got some geraniums and some other little white daisies, some yellow. I love this. It's interesting. It is a kind of a boxwood greenery that's got a little yellow flower on the end of it. I think that's so neat. I have not used this one yet, so I'm excited about that. So we're going to use those, and we're going to get started. I know some of you are going to ask about my new little grandson. He is wonderful. I went with Amanda today, and we took him for his checkup. He's been home a week from the hospital now, and so we took him for his checkup, and he weighed 5 pounds 13 ounces. So he is gaining. He's just this teeny little old thing, just precious, but he is perfect. So we are so thankful about that. And Amanda is doing well, and she hopes to be back with you all very soon. So today it's just me. So let's start. We're going to start first by doing what we usually always do, and that is doing our greenery. Now I have some of this little vine, and this I actually got from Hobby Lobby, and I had just a few pieces of this vine left, so I went ahead and cut it off. And I still want to do just like I would if I was doing a grapevine wreath. It's, you know, I'm still going to green it. I'm still going to add my flowers. So I want to go ahead and add some of my vine here directly to my styrofoam. And now the good thing about this, once you put the styrofoam on, you can of course put your greenery right through or anything like that. Some of these stems we're going to put straight through into the wire mesh frame, and it'll go straight through, and then we'll just cut off the stems from the back, just like we do with our grapevine. So that's pretty neat. So I think, though, I said I was going to start with this. Actually, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to start with my boxwood. And I'm just going to add some of my boxwood around. And now this boxwood, this came from At Home. It's a very interesting, it's a little darker than some boxwood, but I do like it. I think it's very neat looking. So we are going to add some of this first. So I'm just using my glue skillet to dip my stems in. And I'm going to start right back here behind my bow, and I'm just going to put that directly through the styrofoam. I'm going to show you the front. See, I have put it straight through the styrofoam, and you see that I've got it sticking right out the back. Now I'm going to leave those, and then in the end, just like I do with my grapevine, I'll cut those backs off. But the good reason for using the styrofoam, it just gives it that added security. You know, it just helps it stick just a little bit better. So, and actually, this piece of styrofoam was a lot thicker. I can't remember. I want to say it was a 3-inch wide styrofoam, and I ended up cutting it in half, and because I didn't want it to be too thick on here, so I cut it in half. And to cut, anytime you need to cut styrofoam, just use a serrated knife, and that'll cut right through it. So, okay, so I put that one at the top. Now this one, I'm going to do the same way, but I'm just going to bring it down here at the bottom, just like that. And I'm going to do the same things on my other side. So I'm putting one basically at the top and one at the bottom of the first of the styrofoam. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple more pieces, and then we will add some of our flowers. I like to do things occasionally, you know, you'll find some kind of form or something that is just has a different look, and you know, anytime that you can use something that's just a little different, it just adds to the fun of making your wreaths. Alright, so this piece I'm going to put right here on the end, and I'm just sticking it straight through. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay. Now let's add some of our flowers. I want to start with my daisies. Where's my other one? Because of course you've got to have some pretty daisies to match the daisy here in the welcome sign. And then I just love this ribbon, and I've been waiting for something that I was going to use the daisies in to use this ribbon because it's so pretty. So I'm going to start on this side first, and I'm just sticking it straight through just like that. And now there again, if you're making it to go in between doors, you would just want to cut your stem shorter and have it a lot closer to your styrofoam. I'm not doing that because I'm not making it, you know, to go in between doors, so I can leave mine out like that. But if you need to, you can certainly do that. Got these pretty dahlias. I just love these. And I wanted to add just a couple, but I'm going to put this one right up here at the top. Doesn't want to go in for me. There we go. Sometimes you got to fight with it. Okay. Now let's put this one. And I just want to make sure that I don't cover up my welcome sign, so I may have to bring those down a little bit because I don't want to cover them. And of course I've mashed my bow, but we'll fix that. Okay, now I've got these beautiful hot pink geraniums. I love these. I'll cut this leaf off. Most of the time I use the leaves in from geraniums, but this one I just didn't want to. I'm cutting that one off. And I'm just going to add this right at the top here. I started to do all yellow, but I really, really like the pop of pink in this. I think that just adds a lot to it, just to have that little pop of pink. Now we will be adding some more greenery, but first I've also got these pretty little pink rosebuds, and I've had those a while, and I was trying to think where I got those from, and I do not remember, so I am sorry. If I can remember, I will put it in the comments if I remember it later, because I was like, I remember buying them, but I can't remember where I bought them from. So this one, I'm just going to come right up under here, just like that. Aren't those pretty, though? I love these. I know you all will be so happy when Amanda is back, and I can promise you I will be too. Because it just does not seem right to be here making something without my partner. I think we will all be happy when she's back. But I can't blame her for not wanting to leave the baby yet, because he is just so, so precious. Okay, I'm going to put this one right up here in the top. But I'm still pushing it down enough so that you can see my welcome sign. I don't want to cover that up. And sometimes that is hard in wreaths. So you really have to work hard not to cover your sign. This way just a second. Make sure I've got everything even so far. Let me tell you about this bow too while I'm thinking about it. This bow is so pretty, this ribbon, and I do have the little daisy ribbon. I have this that is got the pink and the yellow and the lime green in it, and then just a solid yellow, and then I have this 1-inch little Swiss dot. And what I did, I just made a regular bow with all the other ribbons, and then once I got it made, I just added my Swiss dot right in the center of it. And I love Swiss dot anyway, and that is just so, so pretty, that ribbon. And one of our members in Design with the Pros sent me that ribbon because she had heard me say that I liked the Swiss dot, and she had found that and sent it to me, so I was really happy about that. Okay, this particular one I'm going to put up under, and I'm actually going to have it, since I've got the styrofoam on either side, I'm going to have it go through. You could choose either piece of your styrofoam. Let me cut that off a little bit. But I actually want it to look like it's coming from down under, right in the center. So I'm just going to kind of maneuver it over. But I'm going to use one piece of my styrofoam. So just kind of like that. And then I'll take the tails and move them around when we get to that point. Oops, I got it all crooked. There we go. Alright, now I think I'll use some of my pretty little yellow. These are just so interesting because they do, let me show you up close, they have the boxwood look to them. These actually came from Michael's. So you will have to check those out. But it's almost like you've got your boxwood and your flowers, you know, all in one. Oops, I'm going to push that one too hard. Pushed it right off. You see that I do push everything up to the top of the stem, and sometimes I push them all the way off. But that really helps you, I think. I've got glue all over me. So see how it looks like you've got the boxwood coming around it? That's actually the greenery of your flower. So I love that. And now honestly, you can do as much on these as you want to, or as little. You really, you know, that's just individual preference as far as how much you want to do and how wide you want it or anything like that. But you know my theory, go big or go home. So I have to make it bigger. I'm going to put this piece up under my styrofoam. And you see that I've kind of got it hanging down just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'll add some on the other side. I had actually, when I first got this wire frame, I've had it for a little while. I think it came out in their spring, as soon as they started putting their spring stuff out. And I actually had gotten it to do a succulent wreath on it. I think just filling it up with succulents and greenery would be beautiful. But I decided not to do that today. I wanted to do something real colorful today. But I've got a couple more, so I may have to try one of those one of these times. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way really quickly. Push that one in just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I've got some little white daisies that I'm going to add around. And of course you don't have to include the welcome sign. I just happened to be playing around with it, and I thought, how cute would that be just to have that. Uh-oh, didn't want to stick. To have it on there, and especially since I wanted to use the yellow. So it worked out perfectly. And y'all let me know what all you're working on. One thing I just recently heard, and I was going to share this with you all, that apparently it's going to be a little difficult to get as many of supplies during the fall and Christmas season, that, you know, the supplies that we're used to getting in and all of that kind of thing. So I have heard that if you make wreaths, and you make a lot of them during the holiday season and all, that you need to try to buy early, which it's hard to think about Christmas a lot of times when it's, you know, 90 degrees, but yeah, we need to start thinking about it, because it looks like it may be an issue getting stuff in for the holiday season. I hope that what I've heard is wrong. I hope that's not going to be the case, but I think it'd be better to be safe and to go ahead and prepare for it. And you'll see most of what I'm doing, I'm putting, I'm just kind of mimicking, doing one on one side and one on the other, because that's the thing with something like this. You do want to make sure that you are, that both of your sides, now they don't necessarily have to have the exact same things on each side, but you want to make sure that the weight of what you're using, you know, if you're using really compact, thick, you know, flowers on one side, that you're using the same kind of weight of flowers on the other. You don't necessarily have to do the exact same flowers. You just want to, you know, consider that. And I've got glue all over me. So now I am going to see about adding some of this, because you know I like adding other greeneries and things. So let me just see what this looks like. And we'll just add some to see. And now these are a little more difficult to get into the styrofoam. You really have to work them, because the stems are not as strong on these as they are on, you know, some of the flowers. So just keep working it and you will get it in there. Let's see, I think we'll cut that one off. couple more. And if y'all have any questions now, please just put them in the comments, and I will come back and answer those. I can't multitask. So, cut this piece off. But I will definitely be happy to answer any question that I can. So, on the other side. I don't like the way that one is doing. So I'm going to add that one on this side. This way, make sure I've got it where I can see my welcome. Put this one right here so that it can be up in the top. Now I'm just rearranging my bow. Just fluffing the bow. Because y'all know I am always going to mash the bow. So I have to refluff it. And now you may still be able to see the styrofoam on your on the design. If you can, then once you get all your flowers in, you can just go in with some moss and just cover anything that you can see that you don't want to see. It's very, very easy to do. Don't know if I will do that. If I do, though, I'm not going to do it until later. But it's very, very easy to do. And you can find moss at Walmart. You can find it, you know, any number of places. But it is very easy just to pull off some. I usually just take a little piece of moss. I'll just tear it and drizzle a little of the glue with a stick. I'll just use a stick and drizzle a little of the glue on it, and then just stick it anywhere that I need to hide anything. Couple more of these on the inside. So I'm just going to kind of move my bow around. That one right there. This one on the inside here. think that's about it. And then you can just pull your tails up because they have fallen by that time, but just pull your tails up. And so we have gone from this, where we just had our styrofoam on this, and now we have this. And that's our little wreath, and it's just something a little different. So there's all kinds of things you could do. Now you'll see that I do have stems all in the back that came through, so I will just go through now and cut all of those stems off just right up against the mesh. And just make sure when you're using your wire cutters that you just put the flat end up against the frame, and then that will get all of those cut off. So isn't that interesting? Just something a little different for you to try. And now we could come on down if we wanted to. You could make it as long as you wanted. You could use some kind of trailing vines if you wanted to do that. There's all kinds of things that you could do with this. But y'all go have fun, experiment, try some, you know, different ideas. And if you do, make sure to let us see them on our Grace Monroe homepage. We'd love to see that. And if you want to see some other tutorials, we have got a lot of tutorials on our website at gracemonroehome.com. We've got everything from making wreaths to making gnomes to making food. So we've got recipes. So make sure to check that out at gracemonroehome.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and make sure to hit the little bell so that you get notified when we go live. If you're watching it on Facebook, make sure to follow us and to click that you want to see first, because otherwise you may not get notified when we go live. But we are here every Friday, and I'm hoping that maybe, keep our fingers crossed, maybe by next Friday Amanda will be able to be back. We may even have a little sneak peek at baby Bennett, who knows. But y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.